If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
All right, anyone having any doubts?
Good here.
All right, so let's just start with the today's session. So in case you have any doubts, we can cover up in the end of the session. So in the last class session, what we have learned is how to connect to the source of the data. So we know that first we have to identify what is my source of the data. Then you click on that particular data set, click it over here, and then you can go and just select what is your data set, right? So once you click on it, you will get a navigator window. Using the navigator window, you can just either load the data in Power BI, or in case you think the data is not clear, you can click on transform data. Now, once you click on transform data, a new window opens up, which is called as Power Query Editor. So over here, we have seen a few steps which we did in the last class. And just a second. So over here, we have seen some few steps that how the Power BI identifies the steps, like it added the source of connection, the navigation window, it promote your headers on the top, and then basically change the data type. And then we have checked on the above thing, like in case we want to bring in multiple tables, how we can bring in, then how we can create the duplicate copy of this query or reference it out, how to choose the columns, and how to basically keep some rows and sort the data and split it. So we have even seen the how to use it as a first rows as header, correct?
Right.
So today what we will be doing is we will be learning about a very important topic, which is a merge query. Right, this is very important. Why? In case you have a single source of the data, you don't have to worry anything about it. But what if you have multiple tables, that some data is kept in your one source of the data, another table is kept in the another source of data. In that case, what will you do?
That's where we did the append.
That's where we come into the picture of append and merge queries. So first we will learn about what is a merge query. Now I have created a very small dummy data set over here, and we will spend some half an hour in understanding what is basically a merge query. Now suppose you are working as a consultant with any team, and the user sends you the two tables. Basically, some data is kept in table A, where it consists of your employee name, what is the gender, and what is the age. In table B, it in another table. Basically, these are separate tables. In the another table, it says there is an employee name, the title of the person, and what salary he is drawing. Now, suppose if I ask you what is the salary of Garima, what will be your answer? Anyone? The salary of Garima is 10. How do I know it? I go in the table B, look for the name Garima, and see what is the salary. And even I can say what's the title of Garima? It's project lead. Now if I ask you what's the salary of Amit, What will be your answer?
There isn't one for Amit listed.
Correct. There is no data in table B for Amit. So I will say, I don't know what's the salary of Amit, or I can say null. Correct. Now, had been a choice, you have to only pick up one or two names, you can manually do it. But suppose there are 10,000 records or 1 million records. What will you do? Then it will create a problem over here. You cannot add those things manually. So that's where somewhere the concept of merge query comes into the picture. What does a merge query do? It actually joins your two tables, your two or more tables to create a single table. For example, suppose you have two tables, one is table A and one is table B. Table A is on your what side? Left side. And table B is on your what side? Right side. Now, basis the side, we can create four types of joins. What are those? Left, right, inner, and last one is the outer. Now, what does this mean? I want to join both the tables, but my focus is only on the values which are present in your table A. It will focus on the values which are present in left table. Correct. Whereas your right join will focus on the values which are present in your table B, or you can say on your right side. And inner join will say it will focus on the common values. Common values means which are present in or the values which are present in both the tables. And the outer join will say it's a union, or it's a full output. That means it won't focus on left or right. It will take all the values, whether it comes in left table or right table. Now let me just show you one thing again. So first tell me, as of now you just understand merge query means it's basically a process of combining two or more tables. Second, in merge queries, they use a concept of joins. In joins, there are four types of join: left, right, inner, and outer. Now, see, when I ask you, what's the salary of Garima? So you picked up a common column. Now this is a table. This is a table. And what is the column name? Employee name. What is the column name? Employee name. Because there was one common column in both the tables, that's why you were able to pick up the salary. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct? Had there been no column, and now if I ask you what's the salary of Garima, can you tell me? No, because you cannot identify which is the salary of which person. Now to create a join, you should have at least one column which is common in both the tables. Now suppose if I write out over here as an employee ID, employee name, employee ID. Both the table have the same output. So we can say the common table in both, the common column in both the tables is employee name and employee ID. Had there been a same name, it's easy. But in case the names are different, then also don't worry. The name might be different, but column should reflect the same input. Correct? So let me just show you output for the left join, and then in case you have any queries, let me know. Now what I said, when I create a left join, my focus table is what? Your left tables, the values which are present in your left table. So it will look for all the values, give an output like this, and then it will search for these values in the right table. Amit is present there? No. So it gives you null, null. Puneet is present over here? No. So it gives you null. Null is basically blank. Is Garima present over here? Yes. Yes. Is Rachna present over here? No. It gives you null and null. Is Rahul present over here? Yes. It gives you an output like this. So when you create a left join, you can see the number of output is equal to the values which are present in table A, which is on my left hand side. Now, in case you have any queries, just let me know. I can take up the questions. Even you can drop it on the chat in case you want. Any doubts? All right, assuming the silence has no question. Now let's just jump to the another type of join. I say I want to create a right join. So what does a right join means? All the values which are focused in right table. Correct? So ideally it will give an output like this. And now it will look for the values from here to there. Garima is present over here. Yes. It will pick up the value, give you an output. Is Rahul present over here? Yes. It will pick up the value and give it over here. Is Rajat present over here? No. So what will be your output? Null, null. Is Tushar present over here? No. So this is null. This is. Now in inner join. What does the inner join means? The values which are common in both the tables. So we will start with Amit. Is Amit present over here? No. So it will ignore. Puneet present over here? No. Ignore it. Garima is present over here? Yes. So it will pick up first output as a Garima, give it over here. Rachna is present over here? No. Rahul is present over here? Correct. So it will give you output as this. It will go over here. Garima already considered, Rahul already considered, Rajat. No, Tushar, no. So the number of output is equal to 2. Now in outer join, I say whether the value is in left table, whether the table is in right table, I should get output for all the values. For example, it will pick up all the values over here. Paste it. Now Amit is present over here. No. So what will be the output? Null, null. Puneet is present over here. No. So output will be null, null. Is Garima present over here? Yes. So it will pick up this value and give you an output. Rachna is present over here. No. So null, null. Rahul is present over there. Yes. So it will give you an output over here. Now it will go to this table. Garima already considered. Rahul already considered. Rajat and Tushar were not there. So it will pick this up and will give you an output over here. Null, null. So this will be your final output. So you can see as of now, the number of records in left join is equal to the number of fields in left table. In right join, the output is exactly equal to the right table. In inner join, we have less number of records. In outer join, we have more number of records compared to the both table. But don't focus on number of records. because this is just a hypothetical thing. It will totally depend upon the kind of data you have. It might be a scenario where in all 4 types of join you will get the same output, or in either of the 2 joins you will get the same output. So don't focus on the number of records, just focus on the concept. So in case you have any doubts, just let me know.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So you're saying that this looked like a very manual process. So this is just to learn the basics, but is there an automated process? I guess getting ahead of myself here.
Yes.
If there's
So
there's a lot of them.
So it's basically an automated process. Only thing is you have to bring the tables in the Power BI, and then you have to give a command to the Power BI whether you want to create a left join, right join, inner join, or outer join. And you have to give a command what is a common column in both the tables. Correct?
Correct. Okay.
So is this clear to every one of you? See, I have taken a very small data set so that you can understand the process, how it's happening. So when you have a huge data set, millions of rows, you cannot do this manually. Correct? So I will tell you how you can work in that case. So is this clear? Now, a join can be based on a different concept, which is called duplicate values. Over here, you can see what was the mapping. It was a 1-to-1 mapping. That means Garima was coming once over here and Garima was coming once over here. Rahul was coming once over here. Rahul was coming once over here. Now we will see how the output will work in case we have a duplicate values. So let me just share this. Over here now. Now see, there are 2 tables over here, table A and table B. In table A, it just tells you what's the order number, in which region it was placed, and what's the status of your order, whether it is a paid or unpaid. But in table B, it shows you the bifurcation of orders. That in order 101, what were the products that were ordered and what was the sales amount, or what was the revenue, or what was the total sales value. So over here now you can see 101, the entries is coming how many times? 2 times. 102, how many times it's coming? Once time. In 103, how many times it's coming? 3 times. Now 104 is not present over here. Correct? So how does it work now? When you want to create a left join, what will be your focus? Your left table. So what it will do is it will pick up 101. And now how many times 101 is coming? 2 times. It will pick up all the values. And again, this will be copied below. Next, it will pick 102. 102. Now 103 will come how many times?
3 times.
Now tell me, will 104 come or not? Will
In left join, it won't.
It?
For the left join, it won't come.
It will come in left join.
It will come with null value.
Yes, because it's a left join. I want all the values which are present in my left table should come.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it will pick it up and it will give you over here and it will give you null, null. Correct? Now, if I say I want to create a right join, what will happen? Except 104, everything will come. In case you have any doubt, let me know. I can just show you. But since in right table, what is my focus table? Table B. And it will only pick up the values which are present in your table B, which is 101, 102 and 103. So it will exclude 104 and it will give you an output like this. Correct? Any doubts in right join? Ask me then and now itself. All right. Now when I create an inner join, if I say I want to create an inner join, what will happen? Only 101, 102 and 103 will come. Why only 3 will come? Inner join means which are common values in both the tables. So what are the common values? 101, 102 and 103. So my output will be exactly this. But now in case I want to create an outer join, it will pick up all the values which are present in both the tables. That is 101, 102, 103 and 104, which is over here. Now, can you see it over here? Your data in left table is exactly equal to your outer join and your data in right join is exactly equal to your
Inner join.
inner join. Just look at this data for a minute and let me know in case you have any doubts. So I guess the things which I've shown you till now is almost clear. It's easy to understand. Now let me show you one last case of joins. Let me just show you one last class of join over here. So over here, now we have seen the output in two different types of join can be same. Correct? Yes or no? Now let's see at this table. I have a table A and table B. In table, I get an idea that where is my store, what was the order number, and what was the name of the customer. And in table B, I get a store, I get an order number, and in that order, what was the item ordered and what was the sales price. Now let me ask you in table A and table B, what do you think is the common? What do you think is the common column?
I would think order seems to be in every column.
Okay.
And store.
Okay. Store or order or both?
Correct.
Both.
See, sometimes your task looks a very easier kind of thing, but it will not happen. So sometimes your common column is not a single column. You will have to create a composite column using the two columns. Why? Suppose in case you think your order is your common column. So what will happen? This order 101, customer name 101 is mapped to this laptop and this mouse, and it is again mapped to this camera over here. Correct? You see there is one more 101 below by this customer, what will happen? It will again map to these three items. And what will happen as a result? You can see this value is coming 2 times. This is coming 2 times. And this is also coming 2 times. So there will be a duplicacy of the data. That means your number of records have increased. But now if you think, OK, store is my common column. So what will happen? North is coming first. So it will take it over here. And now north is coming 3 times. So it will pick up all these 3. Place it over here. Now you again say the north is again coming over here. So what will happen? This north will be mapped to these 3 north once again. And what will happen? Again, your duplicacy of the data comes up. So over here, sometimes you will have to create a composite key. And what does that composite key means? You will have to use this store and order. Store plus order as a composite key. So you can see if I create North 101, Rahul. So it will look for North 101. This is North 101. This is also North 101. But if when it goes down, what is this? This is South 101. So is North 101 equal to South 101? No. So it will stop it over here only and give you this as an output. And then it will go next North 102 Puneet. And North 102 Puneet, which is this monitor and 10,000. It will copy this, paste it over here. South 101 Amit. South 101 and it will give you this camera and 15,000 as an output. So I guess the people who have worked on SQL, they would have definitely understood this part because in SQL you use a lot. You use these things a lot over there. Correct? Now similarly, in case you want to create a right join, so what will be your focus table? Table B. And you will get, since we have equal number of records, over here you will see whether you create a left table, whether you create a right table, whether you create inner, your output is exactly the same over here. So you can see the output over here. This is left. This is your right joint. This is your inner and this is your outer. So let me know in case you have any doubts.
So I see basically what you're doing, you're cleaning up your data with a series of joins before you assign the columns and rows to bring it in, correct? That's what it looks like.
So basically I'm not cleaning. Yeah, you can say the cleaning, but I'm also creating a composite table. The data you can see is in 2 tables, correct? The data which you can see is in 2 different tables.
Right.
But I wanted to create one single table so that exactly all the data is in my same table, and using that table I can create my visuals.
Right. Got it.
Correct. So let me just see if we have that particular file. In case we have that particular file, it will make our work easier. Okay, No worries, I don't have the data set over here. In the next class, I will help you out with the data set, correct? So now let's just see over here what data we are using as of now. Sample Superstore? Yes or no? What
Right.
we are using, what data we are using? Sample Superstore. Now let's just try to understand what is given in this data set. Now you can see in your one data set, this is not the file. This is the file. Correct. Now you can see you would have three different tabs. One is a orders tab and another is your people tab. Correct. In people tab, what do you see? You see a name of the person is given to you and you have been given a name of the region. Correct. And in your orders tab, if you will see, you have a row IDs, orders, order date, ship date. Over here, you have a region over here. Now, suppose I want to create one table where I can bring the name of the people also. How can you bring? How can you bring the name of the people in this table? So you can see over here, what's the common column over here? Region. Correct. Right. So can we create a join in this?
Yes.
Can we create, right?
The column exists in both sheets.
Correct. Now see, as of now, what we have brought in, just one query. And what's that query? Orders tab. But I know the name of the person is given in which query? In your another table, which is your people's tab. I click it over here. I click it OK. Just wait for a second, guys. Let me just re-download this file, else you will get confused. So just open up your Power BI. Bring these two queries in your table, in your Power BI.
Orders and people.
Correct. Bring your orders and people inside your Power BI and open a Power Query window. Everyone brought in?
I'm still working on it.
Just take a minute.
It's under materials, data sets, or is it labs?
I guess you have downloaded this file last time.
Yes. Okay.
So it's the same file.
That is correct. That is correct. Okay.
I have one question. Does it matter if we load the data and then open the Power Query editor, or
No,
should it not be loaded in the model, or does it matter?
no, it does not matter.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I feel like I have a dumb question. I got to the point where I could pick orders and people in that little pop-up window, but
Correct.
it's not showing anywhere.
So you can share your screen. Can you?
Yeah.
You share your screen.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Now, can you click on you have loaded the data in Power BI, but what we needed to do was transform the data, but it does not make any impact. Can you say there is an option transform data which is coming on the top?
Yes.
There's a drop down, click on transform data. No, you have not loaded the data. Cross
Well,
this.
okay.
Now click on get data.
So I did this part and I hit load.
Yeah, click on load. Now click on this transform data. See, did a window like this came up earlier?
Yep.
Okay, no worries. Let's see why it's not coming up. No, earlier it was, might be you have clicked it anywhere, no worries. So earlier the load data was not completed. Now you click on transform data, go to transform data, you can see those queries coming up over here.
Okay.
Correct?
Yep.
No worries.
Thanks.
That's where I'm at too. Cool.
So no worries. Now, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Now see, the first step is to identify. We have already identified what's the common column in both the tables. Region, correct?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. Region.
Now I go to see the people's tab. I can see this table is not clean. How do you know that table is not clean? Can you see what is coming up? Column 1 and column 2. Ideally, what should come? Your first row should always be a header. Correct? Because if your headers are not correct, your data will not look correct and ultimately it will give you an error over here. So what we can do is we can click it over here and say use first rows as headers. So I click it over here and now you can see I have the clean data. A data type is already assigned ABC name and region is coming up. Correct? So do everyone change this?
Yes.
Done?
Done.
Now you know I want to bring this name of the person in this particular orders table, correct? So we can use the concept of merge query over here. Now, once you click on this merge query, in the drop down, you will see two options comes up. What are these two options? One is a merge query and one is a merge query as new. So what's the meaning of these two tables, two options? If you say merge queries, if you click on merge queries, what will happen is that the name of this people will come in this existing table. But if you say merge queries as new, this table will remain as it is. This table will remain as it is. It will create a third table, and that table will be a combination of this joins. Let me show you. Like if I say merge queries, now you can see a window will open up. Now what does this show? What is my merge query table left? The above one is your left, the orders. And in with which column I have, which with table I have to create a join? By the people. Now it will ask you, what is the common column? I select region over here and I select region over here. I selected region over here and I selected region over here. And now you can create a left join as of now. And over here it says what type of join you want to create, left, right, full outer or inner. Correct? So I click on left outer join and click OK. And you can see this people's a column will come up with the name of this table people. And there is this icon over here. Just look at my screen. I will give you a time. And you can select and you want to bring down which column? The name of the person. So you deselect this and click OK. And can you see the name of the persons are coming up? Cassandra, Anna, and if you will see there were four people. All the four people names are coming up with respect to the regions. So now you can see when you clicked on merge queries, it made the change in your existing table. But now suppose I don't want this change in the existing table. I don't want an output over here. So you can say merge queries as new. Now once you click on merge queries as new, you can select orders, table, people's table. You can select your region over here. You can select a region over here, left join and click OK. Now can you see a new table comes up on the left hand side? Merge one. Yes or no? And
Yes.
in the end, you will see the same thing. Now what happens is once you merge those tables, it will create that column in the end to expand that table. That what do you want from that table which you are joining? I want the name of the person. And you click OK and it will give you the name of the person. But suppose you say no, I want region also. So it will give you both the columns. Can you see over here now? This column region is coming from your people's query. And there is one another table by the name region over here. And this is coming from where? Orders. But since you know your orders is this region is already there, why to bring this table? Correct. Why to bring this column? So you can just select your person and bring it over here. Is it clear?
Yes.
So just try this out. Take a minute or two. Explore both the options merge queries and merge queries as new and try to bring this out. And then we will see some combination of the joins.
So I have a question, or well, not a question, more of a statement. To me, if I'm working with merging, it would appear that maybe merging as new is a safer way to go, because if I'm merging without creating a third one, I run the risk of muddying up data perhaps. Whereas if I create a new merge, a third file, I still preserve the first and the second file. Would that be
Yes.
correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
so ideally you should not disturb your original tables. You should always create a new tables over
Yeah.
as a merge query as a new table. But with
Yeah.
an experience, once you start working on this and when you gain a lot of experience over there, then the people start creating your table in the existing one only, because they very well know about the consequences of your type of joins, what type to join, what you want to create. Correct?
Makes sense. So for now, I'll be playing with merge new.
Correct.
So when we start merging without saying new, will it directly operate on the source tables?
Yes, it will operate in the source table. Now, if you select this table and you say merge query, it will operate over here. If you select this table people and say merge queries, this will be your base table. And remember one thing, whichever table is on the top is called as your left table, and whichever is in the bottom is your right table.
And in some cases, we may have to deal with tables of large rows and columns.
Yeah.
In that case, are there any limitations?
There are no limitations. You should know the concept and your work is done. For example, can you see there is a returns tab? Can you see?
Yep.
Now once you have created a merge query as new and created a new table merge one, correct? Now bring in this data source. Now bring in this returns tab and click OK. Now how many tables you have? 4. Orders, people. You have a merge one, which is a join table of these two, and you have a returns tab. Now can you see how you can club merge one and returns?
So you would merge here versus messing with your original data if you wanted to, correct?
Correct.
It's like, I guess if you simplify visually, like new Word document.
Yes. So basically now I'm saying you have this table over here. So now see how you can merge this two tables. Think.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like playing
using
with
order ID.
Correct. Using order ID.
I actually like that part better.
Yeah.
I don't like messing with the source file.
That's right. You have to end up creating so many variations of views to exactly what you want, and then proceed the operations.
Reggie, one thing to know, you're not going to be messing with your source file. It's a copy of the loaded data. So if you mess up, just reload the data. Yeah, you're not writing back to the file.
Okay.
Yep.
So once we modify this data, so how do, okay, we have to store it if we want to retain it, right?
See, now see, you have asked this question. So everyone just look at my screen for a minute. And as of now, forget that you have brought in this data set. Now see, as of now, we had this table orders, people, and your merge one, correct? So you have three tables. Now when you have created a merge table, so you will ideally work on which table? If you will create a visuals, then on what basis you will create? Merge one, correct? So do you think is there any use to bring in all these three tables in Power BI?
No need after we merge.
Yes. See, if I click apply. Now if I click apply, what will happen is it will load the data, correct? Take it everything into the Power BI. Just wait for a second.
So it will load the runtime memory of Power BI when we say apply.
Now you can see all these three tables are coming up: people, orders, and merge one, correct? But ideally you have this merge one as one table in which you have all the data. Why to bring these two tables? So what you can do is you can right click over here, enable load, deselect, correct? You can go to people tab, right click, enable load, deselect, correct?
Yep.
And now you have this table over here which has the exact all the data, and now you say click apply. So what's the benefit over here is you will get a much better data over here. Why? Because you don't have to move into the different tables. You have only one table, but in the backend in Power Query, all your three tables will remain. But in Power BI, it will only show you one table. Correct?
So if you load this data, load your merge data, and you save it, will it be? It'll be available. You know, you have to
Yes. Now
apply.
see, if I do a close and apply, my Power Query window is over. It's closed. Can you see my Power Query window? No.
Yes.
But if how many tables I am able to see? One.
Right. One. Right.
But now if I click on transform data and I go over here, I will see all these three tables. In the backend of your Power BI, all the three tables are present. It's only that in the Power BI window, you will only able to see the one table. And that should be the case. Why to bring extra table in Power BI when you have to only work on one table? Correct?
Right. And so I just in speaking in what's saved, what isn't saved. So once you save that and you close out Power BI, will that merge one be loaded in your model the next time you come into Power BI?
Yes, it will be the same thing. See, now if I click it over here, save as PBIX file, just a second, in my downloads.
Right.
I can say merge, save it, I close it, correct? Now I can go to this particular folder and this open up.
So when these data sets are so huge, will Power BI warn us kind of, I am trimming down to load the data and this many rows you can.
No, it will not give you that kind of.
Okay.
As a, yeah. Now see, in the right side, how many tables you are able to see? One. I go to transform data. How many I am able to see? 3. correct? So you can see how many columns were there? 21 columns. When you merged it, how many you are able to see? 22, because one you have bring in as a people's tab, people's column, correct?
Right.
Now, can you just try this out with another table which we brought in, which is a returns. Now think what type of join will you create? Look at the data, understand it, create a join, right? And then we will discuss. I'm giving you 2-3 minutes to do it. So anyone able to do it?
Yeah, if we did a full merge, should we have gotten a 296 rows? Does that sound right? 297 with the headers, I guess.
So what's your output? How many rows are coming as an output?
297.
So that's a, okay, no worries. I will show you a few things.
Because I matched on order ID.
Yeah.
Right.
Now see, no worries. So you are getting how much as an output?
I guess I'm getting all of the returned orders, right? So.
Can you just go, can you just do one thing?
Sure.
The final table which you are, look at my screen, the final table you get, select that table, click on transform and click on count rows. What value you are getting?
Oh, count rows. Okay.
Go to transform and count rows.
Okay.
What answer you are getting?
So transform and count rows.
Yeah, in transform count rows. Can you see I'm getting output?
290. I get 296. It must be.
Okay, no worries. It's okay. 296. Now just cross this step. Now just cross this step. Count one. Can you see a count is coming up? Count rows.
Oh, I see what I did. I transformed my headers.
I was going to say, I don't think, Rajiv, you have your header transformed.
Yeah, I see what I did, or I see what's different right now.
Yes. So it's your answer is correct because your answer is correct. 296. Why? Ideally, you should have. I should have created first rows as headers. Correct.
Right. I did that as a first step. So that's Okay, cool.
Right. Now you can now see what's the requirement over here, and then we will see what we need to do. Correct. So see, you can see over here, you have an orders tab. How many records you have in this orders tab? So if you go to Power BI and click on this orders and click on as of now transform count rows. How many output you are getting? 994. That how many rows you had as an output? 994. Now what do you think is the returns tab over here? So I get total number of records in orders tab is 994. Correct. Whereas the number of records in return tab is 296. Correct? Yes or no? Now,
That's
what
right.
do you think? What do you think? Just a second, let me pull down my charger. Now, if you thoroughly look into this data set, right, it gives us an idea that these many orders were placed, which is 994. Correct? So your 994 orders were placed, and out of that, how many were returned? 297. Yes or no? If as a understandability, I will go, if I have to compare these two tables, so it gives okay. How many orders I received? 994. How many were returned? 296 were returned out of that order, correct? And how can you check? How can you create the join between these two tables? Using your option. Like if I click it over here. Now if I say merge queries, correct? And I select this table returns. What is my common column over here? Order ID. What is the common column? Order ID. Now let's see what type of join I will create. I will create a left join, not a right join. Because if I create a right join, I will get a how many records? 296. If I click OK, correct. And if I click it over here and say returned. So how many results I'm getting? 800, because if I click transform, sorry, count rows, what's the output I'm getting? 800 records. Why 800 records? Can somebody tell me?
Because you were basically just transforming the first merged query.
So I am saying I created which join I created? I created right join, correct?
Right.
So it says all the entries which are present over here should be coming in my data set. Now, how many records I had? 296. But if you will see, there is a duplicacy of the data. For example, if I pick this order ID, so can you see this is coming how many times? 3 times. Can you see this is 4 times?
4 times. 4 times? Yeah,
correct.
4 times.
Yes, so it will produce 4 records. Similarly, it might come 1, it might come by 5. So there is a duplicacy of the records over here, correct?
Right.
That's why you are getting 800 records, because there is 1 to
many from there.
1 to many. Correct? Understood this thing?
Yep.
Now, when I create a right table, it will only show me the value for the entries which were returned. But I wanted to see a table. I wanted to see a table where I can get the records for all the orders. I should get a record for all the orders. So for that, I will create a left join. If I click a left join and I bring in this thing, Correct. Now if I click on transform and say count rows, you will get 99994. Now what you can see over here is you will get two types of values. One is your null and one is a yes. Yes is your this output, whether it's returned or not. If it's a yes, that means that order is returned. But if it's a null, that means you can replace the value and you can say not returned, or you can say successful order. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now see, if you create only left join, then you can see how many orders were returned and how many orders were successfully ordered. But if you create a right join, if I expand this and if I just create a right join, what will happen? It will only show me your orders which were returned. It will not show me the orders which were successfully placed. Correct?
Correct.
So now I hope you are able to understand. See, now this is something which you will have to understand what's the requirement. Now I wanted to show how many orders were successfully placed and how many were returned. So you should have created a left table. If you would have created a right join, you would have got a different output. Yes or no?
Yes.
So in case you have any doubts in your joins, let me know. I will share one more file on Wednesday, and there we will see a different kind of concepts in through the joins only. Correct? But I guess the things which I have told you today are far more clear and you have seen the practical applications of this join. In case you have any doubts, let me know. I will help you out now only.
So what we just did was a recommended best practice of you say left join. Is that what you said?
Correct, left join. Now see, there is one catch over here. Now what's the catch over here? Let me just close it. Now you have these two tables, merge one and return, correct? Now suppose I took this return table and said merge queries as new. Now which table is coming on the top? Returns. And I took the merge one over here. I select order ID, I select order ID. Now over here, I will have to create a right join. Why a right join?
Because you selected the larger table second.
Correct. So always also remember this thing, which table as a recommended, you should not say that recommended is a left join, but in this case, your recommended is your right join, correct? So your recommended is your table. And what is that table? Orders table. That your primary table should be your orders. This one.
Merge
Orders
one.
merged one. Correct?
Yeah.
Now see, I totally buy your point. This is something which you're doing for the first time. I'm showing you a lot of options over here. On Wednesday, I will show you, I will pick up one more file and you will see there we will see a lot of different things with a small data set. But yes, when you will start working on it, you will get an idea about it. Yes, I have to create a left join. I will have to create a right join. This is the thing which I have to do. Correct?
Right. It's just based off requirement, what the requirement is, correct?
Correct. Now see, if somebody says you, I just only want to see the data for returned, then you would have created a right join. But if I say no, I want to focus on the return orders table because I want to see how many successful orders and how many were returned, then you will create a left join, correct? So your requirement decides what type of join you will create.
Okay.
All right. Now let's just see now first thing, when you are merging your queries, if you see practically your number of columns are increasing. Yes or no? Ideally, as a final output, your number of columns are increasing. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, what does the appending means? Correct? Let me show you a small example. Now, suppose you have a data over here which says name, employee ID, and your status. Correct? You have 1, 2, 3, 4 status paid, unpaid, unpaid, paid. And you have different table. Again, there was employee ID, status. 10, this should be 5, 6, 7. And what is your status? Suppose unpaid, paid, paid. Correct? Now, there was a data collection process which was happening in. Correct? And what does that mean is half of the data you collected, half of the data I collected. Now, when you will do an analysis, what will you do? You will consolidate both the tables to create one table. Yes or no? Means what will you do is you will pick up this data and place it over here so that you get one table. And here you can do an analysis. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes or no?
Yes, you're right.
Correct. So this is known as appending of the data, or you can say union of the data, union of the. So appending is basically the union of your data, where half your data is kept in one table, half the data is kept in the same table. It could be kept in your 100 tables. It could be kept in your 200 tables. Correct? But when you want to do an analysis, you want it as a single table so that you get all your records in one table. And that is known as the appending of the table. Correct? You can close this Power BI and save it by the merge. Like to get an example, you can save this Power BI file by the name merge queries and open up a new Power BI. Open up a new Power BI window. Save it by the save as merge queries and now open up a new Power BI window. Can you just open up? Now using this same file, first bring your orders tab. First using this same file sample superstore, bring this orders tab and load the data. Sorry, transform the data. Transform data. Now what do you get over here is you have a orders data over here and how many rows of data you have? 9994. You close this rows, correct? And now go to your, I guess, have you downloaded sample store new region dataset also?
Right.
Have you downloaded it? Yes. Now see what's happening. There is another file by the name sample superstore new region. What happened is you were doing an analysis and you saw that the data which is given to you over here consists of how many regions? How many regions are there? 4. Central, East, South, West. But now the user says, I am sending you one more table, correct? In which you have a data for a new region. If you open up this file, sample store new region, you will see sample store new region. It has the same 3 tabs, order, return, and people. But if you will go to your, you will see there is an option, there is a column over here, which is by the name region. And if you will see there is a new region coming up. So you bring this file once again in Power BI. So click on Excel workbook and click on this sample store new region. You click on this sample store new region and just bring inside your orders tab. Click on this orders tab. Now you will see you have this orders and you have this orders too. So you can rename by clicking over here by saying orders underscore new region. Correct? Now, as I said, what you need to do, you need to basically club these two tables into one table so that you get all the records in one table. But before that, you will have to clean this table. You have to clean this table. Why you have to clean this table? You can see some null values are coming up. Even the first row as header is not coming up. So what happened is Power BI went inside this data set and it started looking out for the data. It started looking out for the data and you can see this data is coming up. So it eradicated these two lines and it took this as a first row and promoted it as a header. That's why if you will see over here, can you see data is coming up over here? So source navigation promoted first rows as header, which came as a data. So Power BI has done the steps according to its own understandability. But we know the actual data starts from which row? 6th row. Actual data starts from 6th row. So what we can do from here is I can say remove top 2 rows. Why top 2 rows? Because these are coming as null. And then I say promote first rows as headers. Just do it till here.
And are you guys getting 2236 for your count after you do that? I'm sorry,
Yes.
2326.
What
Yes.
23? So is it done? Have you created this thing?
Done.
Let's just wait for a minute so that other people also do it. All right. Now see, what I wanted to do is I want to consolidate these two tables. So like you get a merge query and merge queries as new, the same option you get over here. What is that? Append queries and append queries as new. So if you click on append queries as new, it will open up a new, create a new query, else it will do in the existing one. So let me do as a append queries as new. Now it asks you how many tables you want to append. In case if it's a 2 table, you can select 2. In case you set 3 or more, then you can use this 3 or more. All the tables will come up over here. But I wanted to append 2 tables. First is my orders, another is my orders new region, and I click it and OK. And it creates a new table over here. Correct? So it creates append 1. Do it and then we will discuss few things over here. Done, everyone?
Yes.
Now see, let's just understand how the append works. Correct. I am taking this example once again. The same thing, correct? So you had these two tables, correct? Let me just remove this. If you wanted to append both the tables and create a new table will come up like this. Correct me if I'm wrong. This was the output. Now, suppose this table comes like this. So what will be your output? Your output will remain the same. Why same? Because when Power BI appends the data, it does not focus on the sequence of the data. It just looks for employee ID. It finds the table over here, wherever is your sequencing. It will not create any impact, whether it's first, second, third. It will pick up exactly the same data and give you an output like this.
As long as those column headings match.
Column names match.
Right.
Now, if I ask you if this is the column name, what will happen? Will it give the same result?
No.
But these are matching.
The case matters, right? In the name.
Bang on. So Power BI says if their sequencing is different, it does not matter to me, but it should be exact. If I use this formula equal to exact, if my this and this is this exact? False, because Power BI will take the exact, even the lower cases or upper cases, whatever is the thing, it should ideally match exactly the same. In case if it does not match, what will happen is it will create the output will, as an output, it will create one more column by the name employee ID. And now what will be your output? The output will be this 567 will come up over here, and here you will get null everywhere because there is no data over. Is there any data for employee ID? No. And is there any data for this? No. So your output will come like this. So your column should be your exact match. Ever there is any difference, even there is a space. Let me show you. Now look at my Power BI. Just thoroughly understand how many columns I have over here. 21. And if
Correct.
I select new region, how many regions are there? How many columns there? 22. That means in orders new region, there is one extra column. And if you click on append one, how many extra column is there? One extra column. That means all the columns in orders and order regions are exactly the same except one column which is extra in that table. And what is that column? You can see this manager. Can you see this manager is coming up? So this is one extra column. Let's just forget we have got a correct output. Yes, as I said. Now let me show you one thing. If I see just a second. Now if I go over here, if I select what is my first column? Row ID. And what is the first column over here? Row ID. Now I double click on it. I just enter a space in the end. What I'm entering? A space in the end. Now see, this is row ID. How many columns are there? 21. This is my row ID. 22 columns are there. Now if I go to append, it's 22 because space is not making any changes over here. Correct? Just a second. Is this ideally it should do. Okay, it's not picking up the space. But in case if I make it as a small d, row ID, correct? What is this? Row ID. What is this? Row ID. But if you will see over here, how many columns comes up? 23. Because this row ID is considered as a different and this row ID is considered as a different. And can you see this nulls are coming up? But you will also get some output over here. If you click all, you also get an output over here. Why? Because wherever is your output. But now if I rename and change it as it is, you can see over here, it will make to 22. Now suppose if I add a space in the starting, let's see if. See, actually the what's happening, it's taking as a clean, there is a clean formula which is being applied. Let's just add a space in between. No, so it's not picking up. So it's basically cleaning the data automatically. It's removing all the spaces and where. So had there been any space in the left starting or in the end, it would have made that thing over here. It would have considered it as a different columns. Correct? Now, did you understand how does the append works? Any doubts on append or merge? Let me know. So most of your time will be spent in merge and append only in transformation of the data. Like there will be some small steps, like you have to use first rows as headers, or you might have to check some group bys. You might have to remove some blank or null rows. But ideally, you will use this option a maximum times.
And this process, I'm just taking some notes here as we go. This process was called the
transformation of data.
Transformation.
ID.
Okay.
Yeah,
transformation
because you're
of data ID.
Yes, so you basically transforming the tables to get one table, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can say that transforming of the data in Power Query window. And now you can see over here in merge queries, you increase number of columns, whereas in appending, you increase the number of rows.
Okay. And that space was, you were showing us an example of why sometimes you may see a difference. That space in the ID.
This like, so see, in case if it's a change in I number, then it will just make some extra columns. That was an example I was showing.
Okay.
I have a quick question. Did you say
that's where I kind of got lost?
So Reggie, that's just the difference in the row. That's the difference in the column names. So it was counting as an additional column. I have a question on your orders new region. Did you say that there was a column called manager there?
I was wondering if somebody was going to bring this up.
Because I didn't. Because I don't have manager in that. I don't think I have manager in mine.
I just downloaded a fresh copy of that file from the website, and it doesn't. That column doesn't exist in the Excel spreadsheet.
Okay. All right. As long as I'm not the only one, I'm good.
Somebody might have accidentally wiped over that or something.
But it had the other changes in it though. It had the row column changes and
correct. Yes.
The remove rows and so I don't know, I'm just curious.
So see, in a right scenario or in an ideal scenario, append means your number of rows will increase, but it's not mandatory. Columns can also increase in case there is a change in the name of the columns, or if one table has more number of columns, then columns can also increase. But the end use of append is basically to increase the number of rows. Primary objective is to increase the number of rows. But yeah, in some of the cases, you might increase the number of columns.
Understood. Concepts are understood. Thank you.
Yeah. Correct. So I guess though these were the two options only which we discussed today, but these are very important. Conceptually, they are very important. And these are the something which you will be using the maximum time, because in a real time scenario, you will never get a one table as in data where you have to work. You will always get more than one tables, and you will have to see how we can connect them. Correct?
Correct.
So we will in one more file on Wednesday, we will see a merge queries as a half, like we will just see, look at the output for 15 to 20 minutes. Then probably we can start working on that. On other options over here. Some of the options I can just quickly tell you over here. Now, if you click on the transform, see you click on home. Most of the steps are complete. We can leave as this text analytics vision as of now. Now let's go to the transform. Now in transformation, you have some another things which comes up as a different kind of options, but some of the options are same. Can you see like group by? Use first rows as headers. So these things also come up over here. Group by, use first rows as headers. So don't worry on that. As I said, to do one thing in Power BI, you have multiple ways to do it. So over here we are seeing in transform data, this we have already discussed. Like in case, again, I will tell what do your group by means. Group by will basically create a small output that suppose there were how many regions are there in append. How many regions are there? 6. Central, East, West, North, new region and new region 2. I want to group by their sales. That I want to group my region and want to see their sales. Basically, I want to sum up the sales. So what it will do is it will show me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are my 6 regions. And what are the sales in their individual regions? These are the values. Correct. Now, why do we use a group by? A, you can see you wanted to see your output as a group by. B, you take a snip of it, or what you can do is you can create a duplicate of this query and you say group by your region and write sales. And then you write sum of your sales. So you can keep a duplicate of this which is this. Now you can perform certain transformation steps, and in the end you can again check it group by in this particular thing, region, sales, sum of your sales. Correct. And now you can match for South. What's the value? 391721. For South 391721. That means your data is matching. You have not lose out on any data set. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
So this is the meaning of group by. Use first rows as headers. We have already known. What does it means? First row will be considered as your headers. Now transpose we will see in the next class. Reverse row. What will a reverse do? Bottom rows will come on the top, top rows will go down. For example, you can see if I do reverse row, your 9984 comes up and your 1 will go bottom. But if you will see in the data, you will get this as an output. Right now, suppose if I again reverse the rows, you will see this again comes on the top. So see, they have given you as an option. You might use it somewhere, you might not use it somewhere. Correct. So this is just an option that it will bring bottom data on the top and top data will go away. So basically, if your data is coming as 1, 2, 3, 4, when you reverse it, it will come as 4, 3, 2, 1. And this will be your paid, unpaid, unpaid, paid. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4 will become 4, 3, 2, 1. Now what does the count row means? We have already seen it will give you how many rows of data we have. Suppose if I click on count rows, so it gives me the total output 1, 2, 3, 2, 0. So that's basically the meaning of count rows. Data type, we already know. What does this data type means? Correct? Rename. What does a rename means? If I've selected this column, if I click rename, it will give me an option. What do I want to rename it? Also, how can you rename it? You can double click on it and you can say rename will happen. So either you can select this column, go to transform and say rename, or you directly double click on it and you can rename it. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes. Right.
Correct. So what I can do is I can just stop it over here. In case you have any doubts, if you have any clarifications, I can pick that up because I don't want to pick up other things. There are many things over here. So we might not miss out on something. So we will do it all together on Wednesday. So most of our transformation will get closed on Wednesday. We will look out at all the options.
Can you show us real quick before we log off how the best way to close and save and everything is? I feel like I did that differently last time and then struggled.
Okay, now see, I'm just closing this because I don't know. Now what you know is you wanted to append the data. So you have this data, you have this data, and ultimately you created this table, append one, correct?
Yes.
So now you click on this orders, right click, enable load, deselect. Right click on this orders, enable load, deselect, click continue. Again go to this one, enable load, deselect. Correct? And now you go to your home and say close and apply. Why did I close and apply? Because I won't be performing any further steps. And now you can see only one table is coming up, append one, which I will be using for the analysis. Now how to save this file? Go to file. Now you can save as, and you can name it as anything. Like you can say append one file and save this file as Power BI PBIX. There is one more option which is available, PBIT, but we will see how PBIT we will be covering up in the later part. So save as of now PBIX And from here, you can select where do you want to save your files. Where do you want to save your files, whether desktop, downloads, or in any folder in C drive or D drive, you can do it from here. And then you can save it file. Correct?
Yeah, so it's really kind of a two-step process. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So any other doubts anyone having?
I don't think so. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, so, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone. I'm still here in case you want to ask the doubts. I'm okay with it. But in case you don't have any doubts, we can just stop it over here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.